How you guys doing? It's 514 Mystic from BookieBullies.com, and this is breaking down the books. Yesterday had a horrible day, 4 of 14. Yikes. That's like 28%, 27%, something crazy like that. Horrible day. Easier for me to just tell you what won because, 4 of 14. Holy crap. Um, Gave you Winnipeg Jets over 6.5. That hit. Gave you Pittsburgh in the NFL, Pittsburgh versus Cleveland under 41.5. That hit. Gave you Miami to cover the 4.5. They hit. And Atlanta versus Phoenix over 228. That hit. Unfortunately, everything else was a total failure. And, let's just try to make it up and have a better day. Starting from the top, we got some NHL today. Big game, Boston versus Toronto. Boston is on home ice. No, sorry. Boston is the road dog here. Paying 205 to 1 on the money line. 6.5 is the total. 180 favorite for Toronto, who still are going to be playing without Mitch Marner. Uh, Try not to take too much of you guys' time. I'm going to try to keep these videos short because it looks like I'm losing some of you along the lines. Some of you are not following, but hey, it's your loss. If you didn't follow yesterday, you're a gain because 4 of 14. But if you're not following, you're lost. So, anyways, Toronto in their last 8 games are 2-6 at the spread, 5-17 in their last 22. Totals actually hit under in the 4 of last 5 games. However, when they play Boston, the over is hit in 4 of the last 6. They're 0-5 at the spread against Boston, 9-4 straight up overall when they're playing at home against this team. Boston, on the other hand, they're 1-4 in their last 5 games overall, not very good. 7-1 at the spread when playing against Toronto. And the over is actually hit in 5 of Boston's last 6 road games. And Boston is actually a pretty good team. So given those numbers, if you're rolling with Toronto, you're not absolutely out of your mind. I like Boston as the dogs here. They can't keep on losing games, and I like them to bounce back. So give me Boston money line underdog. That's going to be the first play of the game. Next game, we got the Washington Capitals versus the Montreal Canadiens. Sorry, didn't even tell you guys who's at net for the Boston Toronto game. Just trying to keep it so short that I didn't tell you. Not that it necessarily matters. Tuukka Rask is expected, and Freddie Anderson is expected. So look out for those two goalies. But they're expected, so it might change in the few moments to come. Either way, I like Boston, whether it's Tuukka Rask or uh, shoot, drawing a blank. Anyway, moving on to other things. Montreal Canadiens versus the Washington Capitals. Capitals in town. Capitals is in their hometown. Montreal is going to be on the road. They're on a front end of a back-to-back. Heavy dogs tonight. Biggest dog on this hockey board, 255 on your buck. 6.5 is the total. These two teams really go over. Montreal's a team who racks up a lot of shots on goal. Washington's a team who racks up a lot of points in general. Washington also has Ovechkin. Ovechkin has an impeccable record against Carey Price, where he basically scores goals on him damn near every time he plays each other. Give me Washington minus 1.5 to slow down Montreal and, whatever it is they're trying to do, because they have been making noise in their own respects. Next game, we got the Pittsburgh Penguins versus the New Jersey Devils. Devils underdog, as they should be, because they're like the worst team in the league. Pittsburgh are still dealing with no Sidney Crosby. Crosby is going to be out for a while. We're not exactly sure what's wrong with him. They have it diagnosed as a lower body injury. They had um they had a couple of insiders say that it's a sports hernia. There's no guarantee in what his injury is. All that we know is that he's injured and he's not going to be back for a while. Uh, as of right now, it's looking like Matt Murray is going to be playing and Mackenzie Blackwood. Mackenzie Blackwood hasn't been really good. Matt Murray's been awesome. Overall, these two teams don't do much trade-offs. Pittsburgh basically has their number, although they score a bunch of goals between the two of them. I like the over 6.5 in this game. I also like Pittsburgh money line. Not necessarily popular picks, but we're not here to be popular. We're here to cash, and these are all singles. So I like the over, and I like Pittsburgh. It is what it is. You win, you lose. I'm not gonna let a 4-14 night make me shy away. I know what I've been doing this week. If you guys are following, you guys know what I've been doing this week. You guys know what I've been doing from the start of the season, so I'm not gonna shy away all of a sudden because I took a nasty L yesterday. I like the over and I like Pittsburgh. Next game, St. Louis Blues versus the Blue Jackets. So the Blue versus the Blue Jackets. The Blues are 180 total money line. You might get it 170. All these numbers I'm giving you are from the book I'm looking at. You might be able to get it around the same numbers depending on the book that you're dealing with. If you're giving 170 as your even money, or 180, or 190, 190, 183, 183, whatever it is, depending on your book, these numbers may vary just slightly. So, anyways, about 80 cents on your buck, 70 to basically between 60 and $2 on your buck, depending on the book that you're dealing with. 5.5 is the total. We got Corpusalo, who's expected, versus Jordan Bennington, who's been the man. But actually, no. Jordan Bennington was as of earlier. Corpusalo will be playing, but instead, no, sorry. Corpusalo is expected, but right now it seems like Jake Allen is getting the nod. So Jake Allen, 3-1 on the season, 3.29 goal against average, 88% save percentage. Not so hot, not so great. I don't like either of these teams in this situation. I think that they're gonna be. I think it's gonna be a good game. I think the game easily goes over, but I don't like a play in this game. For the sake of argument, we could check to see some of the historicals between them. Short NHL slate. So let's get into it. Columbus 4-2 at the spread in their last six, 1-7 straight up overall in their last eight. So they're trending in the wrong way. St. Louis, on the other hand, 4-1 at the spread in their last five, 7-1 in their last eight. Total opposite of each other. I mean, I guess St. Louis is the way to go. They're 5-5 in their last five road games, which is really good for them. And Columbus is 1-4 in their last five home games. Totals hit under in the last 6 of 7 games. I like what I'm seeing here. I guess you should probably roll with St. Louis. St. Louis would sounds like easy money on St. Louis, but I don't know. Anyways, I'm gonna give you guys St. Louis money line. So St. Louis money line giving you between 60 to 90 cents on your buck. Uh, I'll live with the results. If you guys want to parlay that, you could go ahead and parlay that with something else, but don't risk what you can't afford to lose. Like I say all the time. Next play, we got the Philadelphia Flyers versus the Ottawa Senators. Philly is on the road. They're a better team at home, but they're not horrible they're not horrible overall. Ottawa is at home here, paying 220 to 1 on your buck. Might be able to get it a little bit better at certain other books. 6-3, 6-3-2 is Carter Hart, who's going to be between the pipes for Philly tonight. 2.53 goal against average, 90% save percentage. Anders Nielsen, 4-4-1 on the season, 298. He's basically 50% with 1 point in overtime. Not so shabby. 2.98 goal against average, 92% save percentage. 6.5 is the total in this game, and Philly should pull off the victory, but they're not paying enough money, in my opinion, so I'm going to move on to other things. The total is a little bit sketch. Could easily go over in this Ottawa versus Philly, but hey, I'm here to make money. I'm not here for skepticism. Next game, we got the Detroit. Sorry, we're moving along to the NBA, so we're in the association now. Detroit Pistons versus the Charlotte Hornets. Detroit's favorite 4.0. Blake Griffin should be in the lineup. So should Derrick Rose. Let's confirm all these things just to be sure, so I'm not giving you guys random details here. But Blake Griffin is on this. He basically doesn't play back to backs, which is the reason he didn't play that last game. So just to be sure, yes. So Nick Batum is not going to be playing for Charlotte. They got the regular injuries in Detroit: Reggie Jackson, Tony Snell, and Kyrie Thomas. So that's going to be the regular injuries on the team. Detroit should probably blow this team out. 4.0 is the spread here. 220 is the total. 220 is kind of a lot of points. Let's just check to see if there's anything worthwhile in this total. I don't want to stick. I don't want to stick on this too long. But Detroit is actually 8-4 at the total, and Charlotte is 6-5. But 220 seems to me like a lot of points. So I'm going to stay away from that. Next game, we got the Orlando Magic versus the Spurs. Spurs are on the road, underdogs against the Magic. Um, Historically, let's check the historicals between these guys, because I feel like the Spurs have the Magic's number, and Spurs being underdog and being like the worst team in the league at the spread doesn't necessarily bode well for me. So they go they seem to go back and forth. I mean, obviously these are like they're two teams in different conferences, so they don't really face off against each other too often. Maybe twice a season. Sometimes not even that. Sometimes just once. Uh, but it's usually twice. Yeah. So, anyways, Spurs, worst team in the league at the spread. If you don't got Magic, don't bet anything. 210 is the total here. Magic, they are at the bottom of the barrel when it comes to these totals. They are 7-3 on the under one push. I like the under 210 in this game. Could easily go over. I mean, but could easily go over. Spurs are 7-4 at the over. Could easily go over. Uh, Spurs on the road are 2-2 at the total. So, anyways, 210 seems to me like a good bit of points. Last time I put the under in a Magic's game, Philly ended up going over by one bucket. So let's not play around with fire. But Spurs play two. You know what? I'm not scared. 210 under 210. Give me the that game under 210. I'll live with the results. Spurs plays with twos. They don't play with threes. Magic don't have that many guys who could shoot threes. Nick Vucevic, I seen him take maybe three a game, but he's not a 3 point shooter. Evan Fournier, he takes a few of them, but he's only good for about 15 points. I like the under 210 here. And next game we got the Rockets versus the Pacers. Pacers trending in the right way. Very hot team right now. Rockets also trending in the right way. They're kicking ass every which way you turn. If you don't have the Rockets, you're not crazy because, like I said, the Pacers been streaking, out here killing shit. Uh, just let's confirm if there's any injuries or anything to that effect because, like in NBA, injuries matter. So Jeremy Lamb is still out. Oladipo still out. Miles Turner still out. Gerald Green for the Rockets is still out. Well, obviously he's going to be out for 6 months. Eric Gordon. Eric Gordon is not going to be back for a while. Seems like Russell Westbrook is gonna either rest today or tomorrow. So look out for that. That's gonna be an interesting thing to look out for. So and Clint Capella is also gonna be out today. So that sounds like a field day for Sabonis. I don't like a play in this game at all. I don't like Houston. If anything, I like the Pacers to cover that spread. Hell, if Russell Westbrook is out, I like the Pacers to win right out. But I'm not going to give that as a play. Just saying what's on my mind. Next, we got the Philadelphia 76ers versus Oklahoma City Thunder. Phillies 3.5 favorite. Totals at 214. Seems like easy money, but nothing's easy with Philly. Philly, I mean, they play a weird game. Sometimes they play extremely impressive. Then they'll turn around and and play around with your money. 3.5 seems like a very little amount. So if you could get the money line, it might be worth your time. It might be worth your money. 214 is the total in this game. 214. Joel Embiid is going to be playing today, so there's no injury there. Seems like all the regular guys are going to be there. Give me Philly minus 3.5 to bounce back for this win. Yeah, they're coming off of a bad loss. I think they're gonna. I think they're gonna. I think they're gonna answer. I think they're gonna answer. OKC's on a two-game losing streak. Philly's coming off of a bad loss. We got a 7-4 team versus a 4-7 team. I like Philly's chances here to bounce back. Next, we got the Utah Jazz versus the Grizzlies. 7.5 favorite are the Jazz. Jazz, I don't know about all that Jazz. 7.5 seems to me like a lot of points. Memphis been out here balling, out here giving everybody trouble. Memphis out here giving everybody trouble. You think you're just gonna walk all over these kids? They're not about that life. 4-7 at the spread is excuse me. 4-7 at the spread is Memphis. Uh, and they're tied with Utah, who's also 4-7 at the spread. Something gotta give over here. Utah obviously gonna be the road team, road favorite, and Memphis 214.5 seems to me like it would sound like a lot of points. Utah, I think, plays a better defense when they're at home than they are on the road. Memphis plays a very fast-paced game, and I think they're going to be able to keep playing a fast-paced game with Donovan Mitchell, who's probably going to be enticed to do the same thing. I see maybe a 30-point game for that bad boy. On the road, Utah's at the bottom of the barrel, 1-4 at the spread. So if you got Memphis, you're not out of your mind. I'm not gonna back Memphis because they're not that good, but I like the over in this game, over 214. Because basically, if Utah doesn't cover, I think the 214 happens. But Utah should cover. They're one of the top teams in the West, so they should cover. But should doesn't pay the bill, so I like the over 214.5 here. Next game, we got Minnesota Timberwolves versus the Washington Wizards. That over seems like a lot of points. 240 is the total. It's not a lot of points. Give me the over 240. I'm sorry. Yeah, it sounds like a lot, and it probably is a lot. Yes, it is a lot. These teams are gonna go over. They're gonna go over. You know, it's just what's gonna happen. You know what I mean? Nah, I'm not gonna give it. 240 is a lot of points. If it was 235, I'd debate that. 240 is a lot of points. But watch that game go over. I lean over. But give me the Timberwolves to cover that spread because there's nobody who's gonna be able to stop Karl Anthony Towns. Pretty simple. You know, I don't want to get into historicals. I don't want to get into spreads. Nobody's gonna be able to stop Karl Anthony Towns on that team. There's zero guy on that team who's gonna be able to stop Karl Anthony Towns. You know what I mean, yes, none. Washington 5-3 at the spread. Minnesota 6-4-1 at the spread. Give me Minnesota to cover that spread minus 5.5. Next game, Boston Celtics versus the Warriors. 7.0 favorite are the Celtics. Last time I was gonna bet on the Celtics, they didn't cover, and I did say that I would be upset if I bet on the Celtics and they didn't cover. They ended up winning the game, not covering, and I would have been upset with myself. 222.5 is the total. Yes, the Warriors are garbage. They're not that good, but you know what? It is what it is. Boston, the hottest team in the league right now. They haven't lost in like 9 games. Hard to bet against them. 222.5 is a lot of points, but I think it could easily go over. I think Golden State does a good job at keeping the pace and at scoring, running around with guys and keeping it a game. I'm not gonna bet that Boston won't cover, because quite frankly, I don't think they will. But I'll bet that this game goes over. You know what I mean? Next game, we got the Lakers versus the Kings. Kings, horrible. Luke Walton finally seeing his old team who fired him, and he got a job back right away. Kings, not doing that good. Give me the Lakers minus 10.5. Simple as that. There's no swipe the Fox in this game. Anthony Davis is probably going to be resting again, I believe. Let's check to make sure. But I'm pretty sure that he's still going to be resting again today. He is. Well, now they're saying Anthony Davis is probable on the night. So probable is a good word when you're talking about injuries. Probable basically means that he might play tonight. You know, when they say he's questionable, it's like we're not sure. We're like, we're gonna see what he looks like when he gets on the court. Chances are the medical staff is not gonna like what they see. The coaching staff is gonna ask if it's serious, and then they're gonna make their decision based on the interaction that they had. In this case, you got basically the language that they're using in this situation is he's probable for the game, which means he's probably gonna play if everything stays the way it is right now. I don't think there's any reason for him to play, but I think it helps Lakers keep their winning streak alive. So give me Lakers minus 10.5. Even if they don't cover, I'll be happy to see the results. And I'll be willing to lose my money on this pick. That's pretty much it for me. Tomorrow's the UFC, so I'll probably be posting a video tonight or early tomorrow, before fight time, fight night, whatever. So that's pretty much it. Anyways, go ahead, give me a like, hit that notification bell at the top in that corner right here, and you'll be advised anytime I post videos like these. And again, I'll tell you like I tell you all the time, please do not bet what you can't afford to lose. So without further ado, I'm gonna give you guys the bookie bullies rundown of the day. Starting from the top, Boston Bruins money line, Washington Capitals minus 1.5 against Montreal. Giving you guys the over 6.5 in the Pittsburgh game, Pittsburgh Penguins money line. Giving you St. Louis Blues money line. Giving you the Detroit Pistons minus 4, under 210 in the Spurs Magic game. Sixers minus 3.5, over 214.5 in the Memphis game. Minnesota minus 5.5. Man, I have no dogs in basketball. That's going to hurt me. over 222.0 in the Boston versus Warriors game. And I like the Lakers minus 10.5. That's a lot of favorites. And just on a side note, Friday nights, I'm telling you guys this from personal experience. Friday nights are upset nights. So I'm not over, like, now that I just ran over these picks, I'm not overly confident that I'm gonna win my lotto card. Yes, I like every single one that I just gave out. Every single pick that I gave out, I like each one of them. Hockey more than the basketball. I just don't like seeing so many favorites. I don't like seeing so many minuses on my card, and I see four of them. I see four favorites, and I'm not a fan of that because favorites don't always hit. Friday nights are upset nights, but I believe in what's going on here. Just that side note and that side thought is kind of a conspiracy thing, but anyways, we'll see how it works out, and I'll keep you guys posted before fight night how that ended up working. And anyways, that's pretty much it for me. Uh, like I tell you all the time, best of luck to all. Please don't bet what you can't afford to lose. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. Not gonna get rich overnight. What we're trying to do here is make as much money as possible before June, so that way we could limit our losses and increase our winnings incrementally to be able to get an exponential gain. So that's it for me. Be safe, be good, and I'll see you again tomorrow for the UFC.